We all love a legendary comeback, and Degree Original Cool Rush is back and better than ever. Cool Rush isn't just a scent, it's a movement, a fan favorite that delivers bold, fresh vibes and all-day sweat protection. Whether you're heading to the gym, the office, or just trying to stay fresh on a long day, Cool Rush has your back. So if you haven't tried it yet, head to your local Walmart or Target and grab Degree Cool Rush, the fan favorite scent from the world's #1 antiperspirant brand.
Once upon a mundane morning, Barb's day got busy without warning. A realtor in need of an open house sign. No, 50 of them, and designed before 9.
My head hurts.
Any mighty tools to help with this plight? Aha! Barb made her move. She opened Canva and got in the groove.
Bulk creating Canva sheets. Create 50 signs fit for suburban streets.
Done in a click, all complete.
Sweet!
Now, imagine what your dreams can become when you put imagination to work at canva.com.
My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer, whiskey, wine or gin. Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
Back at it again with another shade of blue. We are the KC Soccer Journal. My name is Cody Bradley, Thad Bell, Robert Russert, and David Greenwald has joined us. Good morning, gentlemen. We're doing a morning pod for the first time in a long time. I woke up this morning and it was fall, finally. A little crisp in the air. It feels good out there. The leaves are going to start changing colors, hopefully. And we can turn the page on a historically bad Sporting KC season. I guess not quite historical. Second worst point total in history. They avoided the wooden spoon. Got a listless 0-0 draw on the final day. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the season. We've got a little current to discuss. So let's just get right into it. Thad is relieved is your name in the chat here. The season is finally over. How are you feeling about this? Is it just a relief, or are you happy it's over? Are you sad the soccer is done? What are you thinking this morning?
Well, I'm almost always sad that soccer's done, but of course it's only done for one team at the moment. But yes, I'm relieved. It's been a long, hard season to be a fan or to cover the team, and just lots of not great things happened this year for Sporting. So, relieved, yes.
Lots of not great things. I needed Carrie here because Carrie's with me on the better vibes around the team at the moment. David, you're always kind of sad about this team. What do you think the morning after the season has ended?
Don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that we got some number of games and we won a few of them. I'm an optimist.
Oh, that sounded very optimistic. I was thinking more the thing to be optimistic about is there's a new direction. Peter is gone. They found a center back. They found a midfielder. They found a striker. They finally found the guy to hire the rest of the people. So it's moving forward, moving in the right direction, Robert.
It is. And, Mr. Lee being around last night was good to see, but, sad to see some people saying goodbye, thinking they know and they're gone. Carrie's last game, possibly. So, I guess I'm more of a realist as I age. I don't know what it is, but I know, Cody, you like some stats. I think Mike brought out, Mr. Kuhn, that this actually statistically is the worst Sporting season point per game wise. But 20 losses, the most in MLS, 70 goals allowed, the most in MLS, 15th in the Western Conference, but, 3 teams below us for the spoon race. So that's positive.
Okay, but we didn't allow a goal last night, and that's called progress, Robert.
A shutout,
the first shutout since May 17th.
Despite Pulscamp's flub that almost ended in a goal and a PK.
Yeah, and after a 10-minute review, it was like, never mind, it was offside.
Well, the guy was on the ground pretending to be hurt for 10 minutes.
So that was the first shutout since May 17. Pulscamp has to feel good about that. Played every single minute of this season for Sporting KC, survived through all of it, and got rewarded, if you can call it that, with a shutout in the final game.
And a new scar on his cheek.
He has to go to therapy after all those shots he had to face.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. There's another thing. I went through all 3 lines that we had found a player. Did we find a keeper this year? Robert, is he the guy?
I think, as people have said, it needs somebody to push him so we can find out that he actually is the guy.
So, Cody, I have a question though. Who's the defender that you said we found
Jansen.
on
Found
a
him
really
in the
good
floorboards out of nowhere.
team? On a really good team, Jansen's not starting.
Well, Jensen's also a rookie, though. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
why
he
I
is.
don't know that I entirely agree with that. In a year from now, he could end up being a legit starter in this league. Yeah.
Could be.
And Thaddy has a sweet kitty cat. I mean, come on.
yeah, I mean,
I don't like cats.
is Jansen 3 years from now a starter? Maybe.
Very well could be.
Carrie
So are we
Zavagnin
saying
had
we
pointed-
figured out that Montez is not the guy last night? Is that what we figured out?
I don't know that we figured it out last night. I just don't know that he's impressed me enough. I mean, he did do good things.
Yeah.
He moved the
Yeah.
ball pretty well, and I'm amazed he can run with the way well, I don't say that's running. Was talking
He
with
kinda
talking with
lumbers,
somebody next to
maybe?
me on the end line last night, and we decided that Montez made Fontas look competitive in a race.
Uh-huh.
Montez did some good things. I saw him, he was part of this shutout, but there
did.
was one moment that he just, maybe he was feeling himself because he had a decent game at that point and found the ball up in the final third and took it himself and absolutely should not have. Just swung as
Yeah,
hard
that-
as he could, and the ball went 30 feet away from the goal.
At least. I thought it was more. But
He did score 4 goals for his previous team over like a season, so
Okay, well, we need those on headers, Mr. Center Back.
two of them were headers, 2 of them were not.
So, Robert, yeah, thank you. You made that a little better. It was the second worst point total in general, but Mike is saying that it is the worst points per game that Sporting
Correct.
has ever had.
yeah.
Okay, historically bad season, Thad.
I think it was historically bad no matter whether it was this points or those points, man, just because we expect better at this point.
Yes, we do, and we should.
But, earlier David said he was an optimist and Robert said he's a realist. And I always like to say that I'm a optimistic realist or realistic optimist or something. I do have optimism for the team, right? But I am also relieved that the season is over because it has been bad. There's been, coaches fired, reporter I knew died, Aiden Manzana, all these things. And, Gotti Kenda died, and just all these things has been just negative, and the team playing bad. So am I relieved that the season's over? Yes, because what that means now is now David Lee gets to go to work, right? 17 players, choices to make. I think by less than a week from now, we will know what a lot of those choices are on those 17, and then bringing in players, hiring a coach, all those things. So there's optimism for future. And everybody I talk to at Sporting, from players to coaches to staff members to whatever, everybody's optimistic about this guy. Everybody has
So do you
positive things.
think-
Everybody's enthused.
Do you think David Lee went home last night and said, "Oh my Lord, what have I taken on?" Because there's a
No,
lot of
he knew.
stuff being put on him to fix. So
Well, it sounds like all of that is the reason he left the job in New York to come here for
Yeah.
this challenge. So it sounds like he's excited for it. And he better be, because our fragile little lives are in his hands as sports fans. He has so much to do, and we just have to sit and hope and watch. The next few months for him are massive. Like, you just got here, now save the team, save the club, bring us back to glory. Hurry up.
Cody, you bring up an interesting point about our fragile little lives as sports fans. When so many people around the club were screaming for Peter to get fired, so many people around the club have been screaming for Jake Reed to get fired. The concern is always that it transforms into apathy, right? And people just stop caring.
I think that's happened.
And isn't that worse?
Yes.
So the question is, how do you come back from the brink of apathy? Because if people are like, okay, David Lee, whatever, he'll either fix it or he won't. Meh. And then they don't come to games. That's the problem, right?
Well, hopefully they believe in this offseason that he has fixed it or is fixing it enough or is on the track to fixing it. And then at the beginning of next season, they just got to win a few games, and then this fan base will be back.
Well, I mean, look at last night's crowd. It was better than I thought it was going to be. Number one, I may have been the free popcorn. I don't know. But, every time somebody, Dayon, Manu, ever got close to the goal, there was a roar in the crowd and, anticipation. So I think it's not maybe as far away as we think as far as the fan goes, because, everybody loves to see a winner. And, hopefully that's what's going to happen come March.
Come March. Short off season.
Maybe February,
always
who
feels
knows?
short.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a good chunk of time, and then all of a sudden it's boom, there's a preseason starting, and everybody's like, why can't we watch a preseason game, a friendly scrimmage against another MLS team? Why can't we see this? Everybody complaining about it, and then all of a sudden there's a home opener, and this year it was frozen tundra with Messi, but hopefully it won't be that bad for the home opener next year.
Thad, what do you
Well,
have
we're not
planned?
going to be in the Champions League, so I don't know that it'll be that bad.
Couple extra weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Thad, what do you have planned for this offseason? Like you said, it seems like we have all this time. You have more time on your hands now for a few months. What are you going to do with all this time? What are you telling yourself that you're going to do that you're not going to do with the free time?
Well, hopefully it'll be following the current into an NWSL championship, hopefully.
Okay, got a few more weeks of that. Heck yeah.
The one thing, it's been a constant since I've started doing this, is that you go, oh, it's the off season, I'm going to have some extra time, it's going to be this. And it ends up being like, holy shit, it's more busy because everything is unexpected. Like, oh, player signing today, and research who that player is. Players leaving, it's going to be a big write-up about that. I know we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing a pod every week. Like, well, what do you think about the work that David Lee's been doing? And it's just going to be constant, so it's going to be doing that. I do want to try to do like a fun playoff game, or I don't know if it's fun, but try to do some kind of little playoff challenge so we kind of pay attention to MLS through the playoffs. But
Okay, I like that. So you have a couple segments here. We can talk about that in segment 3. You got a couple segments to put together the rules and regulations of your playoff game, a little fantasy playoff game.
Help me with that. And I also have plans, because I know you like it when I bring a trivia game or something to the pod.
Oh, I do. Love it.
I have like notes of 4 or 5 different ones to do. So
Okay,
we
different
can
trivia
plan those.
games?
Yeah. Different
Okay.
styles.
Okay,
So
good.
they can be adapted to be different each week, following the same one, or just different styles of a trivia or challenge or whatever you want to call it.
Look at that. We're going to flesh out some trivia games for the next season. It's going to be a good off season for this show. We're going to keep doing our shows regularly, test some things out. How are you like it? We just got a new system here. We're on Riverside. I think we sound pretty good here, Thad, don't you?
Yeah, I think we do. I think we're still trying to get used to the timing and when we cut in over each other a little bit. But yeah, we screwed that up on Zoom and in person too sometimes. So.
Yeah, if I blank out on some of this, it's because I'm just playing with the new user interface here, and I'm just lost in the sauce a little bit.
For the record, I suggested we do this in person so I could bring donuts for everybody.
Oh, say after that you were going to bring donuts. Okay.
Well, I mean, you're the one who didn't want to see our beautiful faces.
Well, we're all spread around the metro. Driving somewhere takes a little bit of an extra effort and time out of one Sunday. But I think this is good. We've got our network has paid for Riverside. I like this. But yes, we are always better in person, and we should get back to doing that as much as we can.
We just need a place. We don't have our previous place, but
I seem to remember a couple of you saying you were making spaces in your homes and a little something of a studio in your homes, and neither of those have come to fruition.
We could.
I think he's
use
calling
this,
you out,
but,
Robert.
I live god awful far away from you guys, so especially Mr.
Thad-
Greenwald.
Thad, you had promised that a long time ago. You were renovating the basement or something. How's that going?
can I say poorly?
It looks the same. The background I'm looking at looks the same.
Well, I
as it
haven't
has-
moved my desk yet. It's going over there, like literally 20 feet. But that's not a studio. That's just my desk.
Okay, see, we're already adding to the off-season list here. You got a lot of work to do, Thad.
I was gonna paint, but I never finished it, so I might just move and it'll be a ugly brown color back there. But oh well.
One last conversation here on specifically sporting. They did kind of mention that it could be Carey's last game. Is anyone thinking that Carey sits down in an interview with David Lee and says the right combination of words like Peter did all those years ago?
Not a chance.
One win in the last 13. I think that's all we need to say.
Yeah, I want to be fair though. What coach is going to win those games with no Manu, no Tommy for most of those? It's
That's
not
the same
like
excuse Vermees tried to use. That.
Yeah, but he's also was in charge of building the team.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He tried that excuse, but he was the one that was supposed to put the players on the field. So Carey didn't have that.
Yeah, he's having to deal with the fallout from all of that, and I don't know who could have won those as much as. I mean, I'm sure there's better coaches out there that could have won more games, but I'm not blaming Carey for the lackluster portion of this season. So,
Well, when you allow 70 goals, there's issues somewhere that weren't fixed. So, I mean, I love Carey, but
again, I'm gonna have to play the other side. Your center backs were Rosero, he's gone. Joaquin, he's gone. Jansen, a rookie, we like. Voloder, who actually with Jansen and Voloder, they were playing pretty decent for a while. I mean, they were getting some results. They weren't great. Let's see, Ian James, a homegrown rookie. Then they bring in the really tall, gawky guy, Montez.
Hey, Montez got on the end of a couple headers. He's the only guy who's good in the air.
Well, he has like 6-inch head start on people, so that is good.
Yeah.
But he didn't finish either of them.
But Thad, you know that defense is much more than center backs. Come on, man.
Oh, I know. It's also the midfield. What midfielders? Radoya, who needs to be gone. Jake
So we can
Davis,
stop-
Basong, who are great players for energy and being villains and all of that stuff. But neither one of them would be starting on a really good midfield, right? Bartlett,
I
a rookie.
agree with you, Thad, but you're playing a hand that is really not something that I don't think David Lee's going to consider a whole lot. Should we take a vote here? Is Carey gone? Is Carey not?
We'll take the vote. I'm not saying he's not gone. I'm just saying it's
Yeah.
unfair to look at it as he should have got those wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I do think Carey is gone.
I hope that David Lee at least offers him a position in the club somewhere. I don't know. If he's not offered the head coaching job, I hope he's offered something in the club because he's been around for so long and
But will he be something that he'd want to accept? I mean, does he have bigger ambitions? I don't know.
Yeah, that was my question. Does Carey have aspirations? Does he want to pick up and move his life to some other part of the country or somewhere else in the world even to go coach a team?
I don't know that, but being that he's been here for 25 years or however long it's been, and he may be willing to just pick up everything and go someplace else, but it's going to be difficult for him to get a job because for the same reasons he doesn't keep one here.
Well, hey, both him and Vermees are Jersey boys, so we could see them both in New York, right? For the Red Bulls or something.
Well, if Peter goes somewhere, I would not be surprised if Carey was willing to go for that. But other than that, I don't know.
I mean, I agree with you. I don't think Carey was really set up to be particularly successful this year. I don't
Or at
know
all.
who would have been great with this roster. I think, you put Pep Guardiola on this, on the touchline, and you've got a bottom half of the playoffs kind of team. I mean, I don't know
Maybe
that anybody was going to drag this across the finish line to a championship. But the thing I noticed about Carey, for a while, we were making really good adjustments at halftime. And it seemed like in that middle chunk of the season, we still weren't getting great results, but we would come out of the locker room and have some ideas.
Yeah.
But we were starting really poorly. And then towards the back half of the season, even that went away. I mean, I'm sure it's hard to keep morale up. I'm sure it's hard to do a lot of those things, but I don't know that Carey showed enough to any organization to justify a first team contract. And we've seen guys like Benny struggle. You know, Benny left the twos and went to kind of forge his own path. And I don't know that he let the world on fire at Oakland Roots, I think.
Yeah.
Without looking it up, Oakland Roots. It's hard to be successful as a manager. And so I don't know that he's got a spot as the first team manager anywhere else in the league. Like to echo Robert, or maybe it was that, I don't know at this point, but you know, I do hope that the club finds something for him because he's a legend. He's a really good dude. And I appreciated kind of his transparency and bluntness in all of his interviews. You know, he was really, really forthcoming with just, hey, you know, this is on us. This is what we're doing. This is what we're not doing. And that's not to say that Peter wasn't, but Carey brought kind of a different freshness to the interviews that I really appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to if David Lee's going to make change, obviously you start with the roster, but head coach is next, if not top of that list.
Oh, it's top of the list, but for people who think that they're going to wait on a head coach to start getting players, that's not the case. They're going to start moving players out. They're going to start getting players. Because David Lee has said, we're going to play this way, attacking soccer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He's going to bring in the players. He's going to bring in a coach that can coach those players. And if the coach doesn't, the coach is gone. New one comes in.
Right.
So a lot of times it's always like, oh, people will think the coach matters on who they choose the players. They have input, but this is David Lee's team, not the coach's team, is what it sounds like going forward.
So relieved to be done, but we aren't going to entirely turn the page. Next week we will come back with something of a look back at the season, maybe try to find some highs and lows, something to note across the season. So we'll revisit that a little bit, Thad.
Well, there will be a presser this coming week that will talk about players being gone.
Okay. Oh, that's a full pod. We got a full pod for next week.
Yeah, it's. I think there will be a press conference Thursday. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but I think there'll be a press conference on Thursday that will have Carey and David Lee, and it'll probably talk about player movement for the 17.
Okay.
The infamous 17.
Yes, the famous 17. Yeah, they don't waste any time on releasing that list. That seems to come fairly quick.
Well, sometimes they do wait way too long, but yeah, some teams like literally they were doing exit physicals last night.
Really?
So when there wasn't a lot of players in the locker room, Robert, some of them were getting physicals.
Ah, nice. So I was talking to Jansen last night, and he is technically without a contract. He's one of the 17, and yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm not even sure what my future holds. But I was like, yeah, well, come on, man, you're going to be here, right? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, but
No.
I do think he did more than enough of showing that he is on the right trajectory and can be a part of the team.
No doubt.
Yeah, he's. We did that article last week or whenever it was of the 17 people who said what they thought should be done, and I think I said to keep 6. And it's not that the other players are necessarily bad, but it's contracts and cost and all that stuff, and getting new faces. And Jansen's definitely on that list to keep.
The complicating part for roster turnovers, as Robert has noted a couple times, we gave up 70 goals. We had an atrocious defense. So in some regards, it's probably best to swap out a bunch of those, if not all of them. But you can't turn over an entire back line in one off season. There creates communication problems. It creates all sorts of other problems. And so, we probably do need 3 to 4 new outside backs. We probably need at least 2 center backs. Like, we need a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I just think with his age, I think you have to just keep that around. You've found someone that is formidable and has shown that they can play in this league, and that there's reason to believe he's just going to keep getting better. So I think Jansen is one you gotta keep around.
Now, Cody, you can give a yay or nay if you want to talk about this, but do we want to talk about what we'd be happy with next season as far as is it making the playoffs? Is that what we'd be happy with?
Ooh, That's maybe a future one, but we can give a little bit of that in the third segment as we're getting out of here. Way too early feelings about next season.
I just want to counter a little bit what David said. You can't turn over the whole back line. Well, the whole back line is turnoverable. Like everybody, okay? There's no regular defender out there that is not that they can't get away from, okay? Shelton, Andrew Brody on the right. You know, every center back, I think, is, except Ian James, is let goable. Every left back is that you can walk away from. So yes, we could see an entirely new back line next year. And I know what you said about communication problems, but it's not like they're communicating well now.
No.
So if you brought in 8 strangers that have played decently good level of defender, 2 left backs, 4 center backs, 2 right backs, and they will communicate and probably have as good a chance as this back line has had. And you also need the D-mid and the midfield to protect them, all that good stuff. Because it's not just the back line. I know we focus on that sometimes. But, yeah, you can move away from almost the entire back line except Ian James. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying you can.
All right, bit of relief. Let's move on from them, and we're going to go to break and talk about the great team. Oh, wait, they lost. We'll be right back. All right, Kansas City Current, Thad, lost a game. Temwa Chawinga is hurt. Panic is setting in across the Current nation.
Yep. They also played Houston last night, in Houston, though. And Temwa goes down early in the game with an injury. Everybody's definitely panicked because she was carried off. It sounds like it's a muscle injury, not a knee, but that doesn't mean it's a quick turnaround.
Yeah. That's good to hear. Nothing structural, but playoffs are right around the corner.
Yeah. That's.
Did Vlatko say it was an upper leg injury?
Yeah.
Like a quad?
He didn't say, I don't know that he said quad, but it was upper leg injury.
Well, what parts of the upper leg are there? You've got the front, the quad,
front and the back.
The back is the hammy, and then,
The
you, me, and
muscles in the
Robert,
groin area.
as the old guys on the pod, have, potential for like a bad hip or something. What other upper legs are there?
All 3 of those are bad. The quad, the hammy, or the groin. All of those are difficult injuries. So
I like that, by the way. I'm only like 3 years older than Cody, but I, for some reason, think of Cody as like a 22-year-old.
Thank you.
He's got that like boyish thing going on.
I got the baby face.
Yeah.
It's going to catch up to him one day. He's going to go from like looking like he's 27 to like 78.
I'm gonna Paul Rudd my way into this. No, and it's funny we're talking about injuries and getting older because I have not been playing any of my rec sports, volleyball, kickball, or soccer, because I've been dealing with a groin injury, and that shit does not go away, Thad. So we better hope that's not what it is for Temwa.
Are you treating it or just hoping it goes away?
Well, how? Okay, do you know how does one treat that? I've been stretching. I haven't been doing stuff. What else am I supposed to do? I got a massage gun. I've been really getting in there with the massage gun in my groin.
Fly to Saudi Arabia, get that like platelet, or it's not Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and get like the thing where they take your blood out and spin it and throw it back in there.
Yeah,
with somebody else's blood.
Yeah.
With the blood of the youth, I think is how they do that.
You are ginger.
Yeah, his injuries are tough. So I'm a little nervous about the upper leg injury because if it's thigh or hammy or any of those, that's not just like a take a week off and come back and you're good. I think that's going to take a couple weeks at least, I would think.
Well, the playoffs are 3 weeks away, so there is time.
Yeah.
Well, look, there's no denying that Temwa Chawinga is the best player in the league. And even if you're being pessimistic, she's the second best player in the league. I mean, losing her is huge. But this is still a really, really good team. It's not a one-player team. So, the Current were so dominant all year that I think they can survive not having Temwa for the first round of the playoffs, maybe first 2 rounds of the playoffs.
They can. They've shown that they can win without her, but the goals are way harder to come by, and I think they just get so used to having this tool on the field, this fallback that can score a goal at any times. I think they kind of forget how good these other players are, and they forget how to play without her a little bit, so that goal takes a little bit longer, but it usually was coming all year. We just didn't see it last night.
Well, but I mean, as Carrie has pointed out when she was talking about how boring it was to win every game 2-0, the plan was score with somebody else, play most of the game up 1-0, and then Temwa scores in like the 74th minute.
Yeah.
So we don't need her, under Carrie's theory, to score that second goal.
Don't need her, but having her on the field in order to be able to score, because she pressures high, she comes back. You'll see her.
I'm just trying, man. Come on. I'm trying to give people hope. Okay?
Yeah, but I don't want you to give them false hope. There is hope, but you're giving them false hope, okay? Because when Temwa is out there, she makes such a huge difference. They have to play a little bit differently. When she's not out there, they tend to make the passes that they would have made to Temwa because she catches up to the ball. Nobody else does that, right? So I've seen them many times when Temwa's on the bench, they're playing to Nichelle Prince 10 feet in front of her, and she can't catch up to it before a defender does. Or to Bia, or whoever, right? Michelle Cooper's about the only one that stands a chance to it, and that's because she'll just bowl over the defender a lot of times if she needs to. They do have the capability to score goals. Last night they still out XG'd Houston like 2-1 or 3-1, whatever the final numbers were. They were different in 2 different places, but they still outshot them. Had better XG, all that stuff, better possession, which is they're not even a possession team, and all that stuff. So they do stand a good chance of still winning games. And you got to think with Orlando lost Barbara Banda earlier this year to a tackle from Temwa. Gotham has potentially lost Trinity Rodman. She went out injured.
Yeah.
And they say that she could, the last thing I heard was she could be available for the playoffs. And it wasn't a definite. So you could have 3 of the top 4 or 5 teams all missing their best player going into the playoffs. That's just how it goes.
Thad, you mentioned that they're...
Sorry, Cody, go ahead.
Thad, you mentioned that they're good enough to score without Temwa, and they absolutely are. And I think with Michelle Cooper just busting down the wing like that, it doesn't even matter who's in the box. I am so impressed with Michelle Cooper all season long. I think she is just borderline unstoppable coming down the wing right there, and she's going to send the ball into the middle. Bia's going to be there. She's big. Like there are goals to be had if Michelle Cooper is out there.
Just need to get those center forwards there. Because you could always have Temwa coming in on the backside, and Bia is not nearly as quick, but she is quick. But there are also other players that need to step up and do stuff. Sentner, Dabinia. Dabinia has part of this year been amazing. She also got a late call up to Brazil. So
yeah. Okay, 1 game left. That is... I just lost it. That is the San Diego Wave. 1 game
November,
in the regular season.
After the international break.
Of course.
Right.
Yes.
2 weeks away.
Guys, there's too much international football.
Never. Love international football.
No, we're doing too much now. I mean, it's too much.
No, I think we're doing too much club. They're inventing too many club competitions. I like the international competitions.
They're running players into the ground. I mean, it's crazy.
Yes.
Not to distract from the women's game, but I was listening to a thing the other day, and it was like the African players, the African men's players, because they have the African Cup of Nations tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to play basically 18 straight months. Like if you are an international for Ghana or Cameroon or wherever, you are going to play 18 straight months without a break. And
Yikes.
Then we wonder why people are getting hurt. It's crazy.
Well, thank goodness Sporting has only maybe 1 player who even plays internationally on a high level.
Yeah, but that doesn't even matter. We're gonna have 17 new players next year, Robert. Okay, we'll be right back. All right. Around Major League Soccer last night, Messi had a hat trick to cap off the season. It looks like... No, I'm not going to go to Thad. I'm going to go to David for this one specifically. David, it looks like Lionel Andres Messi is going to win back-to-back MVPs for the first time in MLS history.
Probably.
How does that make you feel?
Mostly indifferent. I mean, it's cool to see history. He's undoubtedly great, but it's also, I don't know if it's a reflection on how great Messi is or how mediocre MLS is in terms of quality of play, that this decrepit old man is just destroying the league.
Well,
still.
he's clearly not decrepit.
come on.
We've at least
Come
seen
on.
that
Yes.
much.
He's
Like,
163 years old in soccer years. I mean, like, he's what, 38, right? I think he's the same age as me.
38, that's young. David, did you see Monday Night Football last week or Thursday, whatever that was? There were two 40-year-old quarterbacks, and they were slinging the ball
Sure,
all over the
sure.
field. 38
No.
is young.
You see 40-year-olds playing quarterback. You don't see a lot of 38-year-old soccer players winning the MVP in any leagues.
Well, they've
Okay, well,
designed the team around him where he is the quarterback, and he just has to walk around a little bit and then ping balls throughout the field and click
Dude.
in the final third. So they've
He's-
organized all of this so that he is essentially a quarterback just hanging out on the field every time.
He's really good. I mean, there's no denying that Messi is the best player in the league. He's the best player of the generation.
Best
Cody,
player of all time.
you and I were not alive to see the actual GOAT playing in the NASL for the New York Cosmos. So maybe Robert or Thad can tell us what it was like to watch.
Because that
Pele.
was a high quality league.
Yeah.
Yeah, that league was more inconsistent than MLS or MASL or like anything, man.
Of course it was. But that's not my point.
And we got to see Pele in like really poor quality video, sometimes black and white.
Yeah.
And yeah, we
Yeah.
got to see Pele.
Yeah.
But I mean, the quality of Messi's finishes. I mean, come on, look at the two finishes last night. That's
Yeah,
not
man.
a player who, you can put down for playing in MLS in any league. Those are sweet finishes. But I'm going to go back. Who on Kansas City Wizards roster won MLS MVP at a late age? Mr. Preki. So it's not unprecedented.
Preki.
You needed to see if anybody could answer that. I could. I raised my hand.
Yeah, I know.
That's too easy. How old was he when he won? Stats and info, look that up.
Somebody
I'm
call
gonna
Mike.
guess, is he 39? Maybe 40?
No, Robert, those goals, I had that same feeling while watching those goals go in. He does that little give and go where he has the ball outside the box. He just looks for somebody at the line of the box, and he uses them as a backboard. And he got that ball back, and he makes it look so easy. It looks like he was at the 6-yard box putting that into the corner, but he's all the way outside it. Now just curls it through and around defenders, around the keeper like they're not even there. It's just it is amazing the way he sees the game after all these years, and how he just makes it easy on himself. It's incredible.
But 40, yes, Preki was 40. He won it in 2003. He was born in 63, so 40 years old.
See, there you go. Messi's young and spry.
Do you feel young and spry, Cody?
Yes, I do, David.
With your
Minus the groin
broken
injury.
down groin?
Minus the groin injury, I look and feel good. Okay.
Have you looked into a groin replacement?
I don't think that's a real surgery, Thad Bell. So, Thad, the playoffs start already on Wednesday. No rest for the weary. We got the I don't know. Are you calling the wild card or the play-in games? Are those actual playoff games? Where do you stand on that, Thad?
I stand as their playoffs.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
And hey,
People try to make the
congrats to-
argument. But,
Congrats to Mr. Russell and Mr. Agata for making the playoffs.
They did.
did they contribute very much?
Johnny had at least one goal, didn't he?
Against Sporting.
Right.
Of course.
I think Agata had one at some point too. He almost scored a winner for Real Salt Lake, but it was called back because he can't stay on side.
Well, he's in the playoffs and we're not.
So Wednesday is the East Coast or the Eastern Conference is Chicago and Orlando, and the Western Conference play-in game is Portland and Salt Lake.
You know, I was looking at this earlier, and I mentioned it before we got on here, but Chicago, the second highest scoring team in the league. Who would have thunk on that, huh?
Dang, yeah, that is.
68
How bad
goals.
is that
Of course,
defense?
Miami had 81, so there you go.
And what was the comparison of Messi to a team, Robert?
Yeah, DC United scored 30 goals as a club. Messi has scored 29 on the season.
Jeez.
Craziness.
Man, he almost matched them. That's crazy. I wonder if that's ever happened before. Over the course of an entire season, that one player matches a team.
And, you know,
I know
Messi's
it's
one
come
short
close.
of Carlos Vela's record of goal contributions for a season as well.
Yeah.
And then what? San Diego, an expansion club, winning the West. Pretty impressive.
I feel like we need to stop being super impressed because haven't the last like handful of expansion teams been pretty solid?
Oh, you're talking
Yes.
about that other team to the east?
Well, like Dog
How'd
Food
that
FC did really well their first season.
Until the end of it.
Right. That was still a really fun game to watch.
2 games.
But I mean, I feel like increasingly the expansion clubs have come in and like figured it out pretty quickly, pretty easily.
Yeah. They've either come in and been really good or really bad and took a while, like Cincinnati.
Right.
Yes, but then the collapse comes.
Usually it does, yes. I don't know that any team has lasted being good as an expansion team for very long because they come in, they don't have any bad contracts, they've had time to recruit, they've had time to sign players and loan them to other teams. They have all this ramp up to have with no distractions, and they have the model of other teams. So they've been able to be good, and the question will be is how long can they be good?
I would say Atlanta seems like they had the longest sustained run, and they thought they were never going to be bad, and they changed the league forever, and that was really tasty watching them fall apart over the course of a couple seasons.
Yeah. Every new team, their fans, if they have fans. Does San Diego have fans? I've really not even noticed San Diego fans. It's usually like expansion teams, their fans are just obnoxious because we are going to change the league. We're going to be good forever. We've got it figured out. We're the best soccer city in the country. Blah, 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 blah.
Was that your Californian impression?
No, that was
I
just
like
me
that.
being
It kinda came off.
snarky. Was that Californian?
No, it wasn't.
I didn't think so
But
either. It was just snarky.
Atlanta's an interesting one because they have not changed their model at all. They just keep buying dudes for insane amounts of money.
Yeah.
They just started missing.
Yeah. And I don't see
Definition of
San
insane.
Diego as being the favorite to come out of the West for these playoffs either. I see either LAFC or Vancouver.
Hard to go against LAFC.
I'm rooting for
that.
Vancouver. I mean, LAFC's got 2 of my favorite players of all time in Lloris and Son, but Vancouver, I mean, talk about a fan base that deserves it. They've been just crapped on for
what? Mueller's added to that team too? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you guys
But
see the
did
goal
you-
that Lloris gave up last night?
I was just going to mention that, yeah.
No.
So, okay, the play where Poolskamp almost gave up a PK, right? Like he kind of duffs the ball, lets it run across, and then he kicks it, and on his follow through, he hacked down the Houston player. And we didn't really talk enough about how asinine the rule is that you're
that
allowed
did
to
not
kick the
like-
ball.
That did not like your characterization of that play. He was about to jump to the defense of Pulskamp there.
No, but I mean, like
we
we did not talk about how stupid it is that you're not allowed to follow through after kicking the ball. Because where else does the leg go? And
Right.
if you win the ball, you win the ball. But Lloris did the similar thing, and then when he tried to kick the ball away, he kicked it right into the foot of, I think was it Paxton Aronson? I think.
I think so.
And it deflected right into the goal.
Yeah,
it was
Paxton scored his first or something like that, I think.
He did, yeah.
I think it was Paxton who did it, but he basically closed down the Reese. Reese kicked it right into Aronson's outstretched foot and gave up a goal.
Reese will be all right. He's a loud one. That's one keeper that's he's a loud one.
He'll bounce back.
Oh, and going back to that city that Thad was referring to, looks like Klaus could be on his way out, which, that'll be a sad day.
Our problematic friend.
The one that Jansen told him is the most overrated DP in the league.
That's so funny.
He's been successful enough. There's somebody around specifically Major League Soccer that would probably pick him up.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, if he was on a better team, he'd score more goals. But you could say that about most players.
Yeah, but he's that kind of player that I think you can put on a bad team and he'll get some goals. Like eventually over the course of a season, if you cross the ball into that big guy enough, like he's gonna head some home. He's gonna finish a couple of them.
How impressive is it that Dayon got so many goals on this team?
It is very impressive. I don't think we talk about that enough.
I don't either. It's just amazing that how many goals did he get this year?
19?
Yeah, I think so.
It was 18, 19. More goals than he got with LA in the regular season on the year that they went to last year when they won the MLS Cup. So he's pretty damn impressive that he could get that many goals and not have, hardly have anybody giving him assists at times. So,
dude, he's a stud. He's an absolute beast.
He's 18.
Yeah. 18. He's a stud. He's a beast. We got a striker for next season. We don't know a lot about next season with the famous 17 that could be gone or returning, but let's do some way too early expectations for next year. Thad, you were the one that brought this idea up. What are you thinking for next year? What is your expectation for this team we know nothing about?
Actually, I'll go to that. I just want to give one more moment from last night's game. My favorite moment of the game was when Dayon was unable to get his head on the ball, and he just hung off the crossbar and swung back and forth for a while.
Yeah.
So, okay, minimum
Contemplating
expectations.
the whole season is what he was doing.
Yeah,
he needed a moment. Did this really happen? Was this a dream?
He was just hanging around. Expectations for next year, minimum is make playoffs. That's the absolute minimum that you can have. Anything that you can remotely call a success. Absolute minimum is that a massive rebuild happens and you see the signs of all that coming together. A new coach that knows what they're doing. Sorry, Kerry. I've defended Kerry so much that I wouldn't be upset if he came back, but I understand why he's probably not.
Casey.
Anyway, that's the minimum, is make playoffs. That's the minimum for any league. Yeah. And it's a massive turnaround, but I think they can do better than that if David Lee has the ability to do what I think he can do.
Yeah, I agree with that. This league is built for parity and turning things around over the course of one season. They've got a lot to work with. I don't think it's unreasonable at all to say that what they've established here at this club over the years, that I would be disappointed, even without knowing who the players are going to be. I would be disappointed if they're not able to claw back into the playoffs next season.
I mean, I'll go one step slightly further. 8th place in that home playoff game at least, I think would be the minimum. That 9th place spot is just, sure, nice, but let's go one step further. Let's get 8th.
Well, 8th isn't the home play. 7th is...
No, 8th plays 9th in that game.
8th
that's the home game for the 8th seed.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, 8th is the home wild card.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. David, is that where you're at? You got higher expectations?
I expect us to be bad again.
You can be bad and make the playoffs. You can be bad and make 8th place.
I want to see more fight. My hope is that we are closer to kind of mid-table in terms of the statistics and the metrics, but I expect us to be 9th, 10th, somewhere in there. Just not with like 70 goals allowed.
See, saying 9th or 10th, that's too much in my opinion, where we know nothing about the players that are on the field.
You know what?
I'm thinking macro, they've had a rebuild year already. They've got some pieces, they've got a striker, they got a midfielder, just put some other pieces in there, move up the table a few spots. That's all I'm looking for.
Cody, what's the average demographic of our listener? Because I can make a suggestion for the children.
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. I mean, we could finish like 6, 7. Carrie will appreciate that one.
Hey, we did that. We've had a
Please.
couple. We've had a couple 6-7 references on this show. Although I think you just made the target demo older because I think that's getting old. I think 6-7 is on its way
is it?
out. Once
Okay.
David starts making the references, I think it's on the way out.
That's the death of it, yes.
That's messed up, man.
But hey, if you look at the standings this year, the West, you don't want to look at the East because they're so much stronger. But 5 more
Yeah.
wins would have gotten us in the playoffs.
5 more wins. That seems like a lot, but yeah, I mean, like I said, everything's in the right direction here, and the league is built for teams to do a turnaround like this and get in the playoffs the next year. So I don't think it's unreasonable. I don't think we're being ridiculously optimistic and optimistic fans here by saying it. I think it is more than reasonable to hope for the playoffs.
So, David, do you think that David Lee cannot rebuild this team in a year?
I am optimistic that David Lee can rebuild this team. I think bringing in so many new guys all at once will be challenging to make sure that we have the right amount of chemistry, that they gel with a brand new manager. Because a lot of these guys are going to be learning new concepts, presumably, in terms of how does the manager
Score goals.
want them to play.
Stop goal.
And the reality is nobody bats 1,000 in terms of roster recruitment and player signings. So we have 17 potential spots. I don't think we'll see 17 new players just because that's a pretty Herculean task. But let's say we bring in 10 new guys. What would we call it a success is if we hit on like 7 of them would be like pretty amazing.
That's a smashing success.
Right.
I thought you were going to say 3 or 4.
But that's my point, right? Like, let's say we only hit on 3 out of 10 that we bring in. Well, then we're still in a rebuild. So
David Lee out, David Lee out, David Lee out.
Sure. Yeah, no. Why have patience? It's a big task. So do I think we can turn it around in a year? I mean, can we? Absolutely. Do I think we will? Well, I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Well, David, I'm going to use one of your former points to counter that a little bit. And I know it's not the exact same situation, but it is similar with 17 guys out. But like you said, the last couple expansion teams have come in and been extremely successful. We are on the cusp of an expansion team in some ways.
Yeah, I was actually going to make that same point, Robert. So, well done.
Yeah.
Again, if this was a newly promoted GM, like I'd be like, yeah, I would worry much more about him being able to bring in players, right? He's not a newly promoted GM. The problem isn't that he can't bring in 17 players or hit on 70% of the players he brings in. Because, I mean, not every player they brought into NYCFC was perfect, right? Not every one of them. Some of that may have been influence from City Football Group, and some of the successes may have been influence from City Football Group. But either way, I'm not worried about that as much as the fact that you have to get a coach, assistant coach, another assistant coach potentially, another assistant coach potentially, 3 scouts, head of scouting, the whole analytics department that he's going to start, all of that done. And I know somebody used this reference this last week, is that if he wants to fill out the entire of everything that they want to do in all this stuff, he has to make 2.5 hires, or he has to make a hire every 2.5 days. So every 2.5 days, he has to make a hire. Now, that's pretty Herculean if you're going to actually bring in people you don't know. So maybe he can bring in people he already knows that can come in and do these things really well, because that's sometimes you can steal from other clubs and people you know. And there's already, I'm not going to say names, but there's already people leaving the staff. They've already found other jobs. I think that just the uncertainty has led them to make those decisions.
Yeah.
And some of those will be announced, I think, coming this week.
Yeah, if you're not being proactive and you're an employee of Sporting Kansas City, that's your fault.
Right.
Well, and but also like, what's the budget, right? You know, you want to remake an analytics department, you can hire a bunch of people.
Right.
pretty easily if the money's right. But if the money's not right, I mean, what's the incentive if you're working for like Miami to leave? And if
Better
you're working
weather.
yes, better weather.
Okay, well, you picked Miami. You picked one of 3 clubs that's like,
Okay.
obviously nobody's leaving that club.
What's the incentive to leave a playoff club for Sporting if the money's not better?
Well, I'm just saying, how about we use NYCFC as an example? That's in a bigger city, in a prestigious city, and not a club in absolute disarray. And he left and came here.
Probably for more money
Well,
and more control because, at the end of the day, you work for City Football Group as opposed to coming to Sporting Kansas City where you're independent from,
Right.
well, which oil magnate owns your favorite club, Cody?
Well, I mean, underlying what you're saying, David, is it's up the owners to finance this rebuild, and that's
Yes.
a very important part. That are the owners fully in. They did a great job finding David Lee, I believe. Kudos to them for that. But now they've got to support him and let him do what he wants to do and can do.
When Mike Illig was asked about financial support in the presser when they introduced David Lee,
Yeah.
he seemed almost pissed off, and he seemed to imply that money has never been the issue, and that narrative has been out there. So was Peter not spending money on players that he could have done? I mean, Peter had always made it sound like he was, I shouldn't say, for a long time he said that everything was great, fully great servant of the club and all that type of stuff. But then at one point it finally started to turn towards the end where, well, we have to go and ask for permission and we have to go do this. And so, it's this and that. It sounded like the money wasn't there. And we've also heard other rumors around that money wasn't always there, but like other owners are stepping up to maybe donate some more money and stuff like this. So we'll have to see. And that's a very valid point, is will they spend to do all this stuff? But I think they've seen that if they don't spend, this is what we get. And the club becomes less valuable. So if they want this club to be a valuable asset to their portfolio, you have to spend money.
I wonder what mechanisms the league is going to introduce in the offseason, too, that allow this.
that will help Miami.
Yeah, Miami will get a 7th DP.
Well, hey, they're losing too, so.
Okay, Thad, have you had enough time to come up with the rules of your playoff game that we're going to be doing?
Well, I had some earlier, and I'm still debating them though. But I was
How about this? We can make our picks because we're just going to have the play-in games,
Yeah.
and then you can choose the scoring system. You can finalize that later in the week.
Well, yeah, I mean that could work because I just want to do something to keep people involved with MLS since Sporting's not doing anything. From
Yeah, I
this
do
point
too.
on.
Keep me activated in the playoffs. This is the only reason I watch the NFL is because I play fantasy football. So, give me a little game to play so I can beat my stupid friends in it, and I'll be locked in.
But I think I'll probably put something up on KC Soccer Journal tomorrow. But it'll probably be something like predict the games. If you get the winner correct, it's a point. If you get the score right, like 2 points or something like that. Or
That feels like worth more than 2. Actually, get the score right.
so 2 extra points. So you get the winner right, it's 1 point. If you get the score right, 2 extra points. So it'd be total of 3.
There you go. That's good. I think this can work.
Also, I want to do like when it gets to the full rounds, that you can pick one team or one game to be double points or something like that.
Okay, I'm
Who's
just gonna
tabulating all this?
That's what I told Thad before we started. I'm like, Thad, everything you just said, you just made a lot of work for yourself. I hope you understand that.
Well, it depends on how many people play.
Okay, well, I'm playing right now. I'm going to start. I'm jumping in. My picks for the Wednesday games, I am going to go with Portland and Chicago.
Scores.
Home
Okay.
teams.
So just as a reminder, Cody, for this game, you have to make a comment on our site of what your predictions are. So
Okay, I'll do that.
If you need
That's
me,
how
I'll
they're-
reactivate your account since you haven't
That's
posted for a while.
That's how, oh God.
Who'd you
That's
say for
how,
the East, Cody? I'm sorry.
I said Chicago.
Okay.
So your official submissions are done in the comments each week as Thad posts an article.
Yeah. So each week I'll try to
this.
post like the upcoming games, or each round I'll post the upcoming games.
Or maybe we
And then-
keep it the same link, the same URL that is updated so people can play along on the same one. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Logistics. We'll figure out the logistics off there.
I want to have a new one for each round because then the comments have to be in there for that.
Okay, right.
Because I have to dig through 1,000 comments. Okay, we're not going to get 1,000 comments, but you know what I mean.
Optimistic that. Okay.
Optimistic realist.
This game is going to change the future of the KC Soccer Journal. Okay, so Robert, what are you? Oh, I have to pick scores. Okay, we said Chicago scored the most. Let's say 4-2 Chicago over Orlando and 2-1 Portland over Real Salt Lake.
Chicago
Seems
beat
like you're-
Orlando 3-1 back in May and drew them 0-0 back in May as well. Just for
Okay, good research. Thank
precedence,
you,
but
Robert.
that's a while ago. I would call Chicago as well. I'll go 2-1. I know it's a cop out sort of, but and then Portland 2-1 as well.
Cop out scores.
Yep.
David, what do you think?
Season's over once Sporting's done. I'm not going to watch.
You're not even gonna put. Come on, we're doing this
okay,
thing.
okay. Sorry,
You gotta
sorry.
get the listeners
Sorry.
to play.
Hey,
Engage.
there's money involved. Thad's money.
Is there Thad's money involved?
No, I was just throwing that out there.
I think we should put something valuable on the line. Like,
That's money.
I was going to say something a little bit meaner. I'll refrain. I'll text it to the group. Okay, so who's playing?
Oh, David. It is
Chicago, Orlando. Chicago's hosting. Portland,
Salt
RSL.
Lake.
Portland's hosting.
Okay, I'm going to go Orlando 1-0, smash and grab. And I'm going to go RSL 2-1.
Oh, RSL in Portland. Whoa.
Which, by the way, you still have to make a comment on the site in order
Sure.
for this to count.
Sure.
Yes, but David, is Portland
I
gonna
watched
survive
Portland-
with the hell going on in that town.
Okay, well, I don't want to talk about that.
I'm actually taking a trip there. I'm going there in November, and I go to New York a lot to see my sister out there, and both coasts, as far as you can go on the coasts, and the trip to Orlando is less than half the cost of a trip to New York at the moment, and I wonder if it's because of people dressed up in frog costumes running around in the street, if that's why it's all cheaper there right now.
So
Orlando's usually cheaper.
to not talk about any of those things, I am just very unimpressed with Portland. I don't think. I mean, I know they made the playoffs, but I'm just from what I've watched of them, I'm not impressed. And it's not like Salt Lake's amazing, but I think Portland is not a strong team. And then I'm going vibes with the Lions. I'm going vibes with Orlando City FC, or whatever their acronym is.
Yeah, you were right about Portland. They have not been good recently. And who's that guy up top that RSL has that scored 2 last night? He's a dangerous man.
That conversation felt less important after we dismissed the rise of fascism in order to talk about it.
I just
Good input, David.
It's
I love-
it's 9 o'clock. It's 9:58 in the morning. I don't on a Sunday. If I could just have this hour.
I know.
Free.
You
World-
had your donut, David? Did you have your
our
donut?
world
No,
is a
I have
scary
not had my
place.
donut. I rushed back, threw my headphones on, and came to chat with you lads.
This is how it
dedication,
happens.
man.
That's
Do you
how
have
it
a donut?
happens.
Do you have a donut sitting there waiting for you, or have your kids already eaten it?
Unclear. I don't know.
Yeah, those donuts are gone, David.
Maybe.
And
Okay, well,
Orlando
we
used
can-
to always be cheaper to fly to because its flights are subsidized to go to the Disney and Universal.
Oh, really? That was a fun
And-
fact. Thanks, Dad.
And same for Vegas. Like flights there are usually cheaper compared to like other big cities in distance because casinos like want you to go there. So
Interesting. Yeah, I was ready to pay a certain amount for this flight, and it's very cheap.
What airline do you choose, Cody? I feel like you're a Spirit kind of guy.
No, oh, hey, that is the meanest thing anyone's ever said to me. No, I do Southwest. I've had the Southwest credit card for many years. I don't use it that often anymore, but I've still got a whole bunch of points.
Do you have any friends
flew
who are air
Spirit
traffic
once.
controllers that are going to be working that can guide you? Or getting paid? I don't know.
No, I needed a trip though. It's gonna be good. I got a friend out there. Go do some rainy hikes. I've actually never been to the Pacific Northwest. I've been waiting for that summer trip of a weekend Saturday in Seattle and Portland for years, and it's never come. So I'm just going out
Hey,
there.
well,
on my
let
own.
me know. I want to head that way as well at some point.
Cody, isn't it the gentleman's club capital of the United States also? Are you
Is
taking
it?
your thinnest sweatpants?
Oh, God. That can't be true? Why would that be the best place in the city for gentlemen's clubs? Wouldn't that have to be like a older place in our country, somewhere on the East Coast? And why do you know that? How about that? That's the question I should have asked.
Yes.
Why do you know
That is
this?
the
I read that somewhere sometime. I don't know. I don't go to those places. It's
Why do I
expensive.
see a closet full of really thin sweatpants behind you, David?
Yeah, I'm in my office. You see Legos
That makes it
and
worse.
books. You see Legos and books. Don't lie to the listeners.
Yeah, those should be in your room. Jeez, David.
The Legos?
The sweatpants. Okay, any final thoughts here? Like I said, we're not entirely turning the page on the season for sporting. We've got more to revisit for the season. I'm gonna try to find something good. Okay, our picks are in. Thad is going to organize this game, get an article out. That is where you put your submissions in, play along with us, make the playoffs interesting. It might actually make these play-in games on Wednesday night interesting. So get those picks in before Wednesday. Thad, thank you for organizing the game. I too am relieved. I feel like a weight is off my shoulders, Thad, that this season has ended.
And we have nothing to do but look forward for this team.
Yes. There we
Right.
go. See, you said something prophetic and I didn't even need to ask. Sporting!
The other side don't seem so tough. And 3 own goals ain't all that rough. Our skipper has just been sent off. Supporters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm